It's Ronnie, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Round 10, featuring 31 exclusive sketches for this collaboration. And today's sketch is by Katie Donaldson Taylor. And you might notice that mine's turned to the left a little bit. Yeah, one round anyway to the left. And so my tab looking things mostly are going to be at the top, but then I'm going to get a little carried away and have a few more. I am showing you odds and ends that I had in my Halloween iris. I wanted to buy a new Halloween collection for 2 or 3 years, but I'm trying to stick with what I have. I have dwindled my iris container to half, but I had lots and lots of these papers. These papers are from a We Are Memory Keepers um, collection many years ago. You got like, I think it was 4 sheets of everything you got. So I have plenty of that, and I still love that paper. And well, I love quite a few things that's in here. I'm just wishing I had some other odds and then more. I am using, now y'all, if you haven't scrapbooked for a long time, you probably don't even recognize it. It's a colossal. And that thing on the bottom, it's kind of like foam, crepey kind of foam, and it's the mat to cut with. And then you have a swivel blade to take around the stencil there. And the stencil has file folders. It was made for mini albums, and that's what I've used it for several times. But for today's layout, I looked at it, and the first thing I thought of was this. And I haven't used it in quite a while. And I showed there how you fold it over and make a mini album with it. Anyway, I only cut 2 of them out because there was a shaped piece of paper that was in that collection. And of course, I want to use them if I can because, I'm trying to clear that out. And so I will be using one of them on here, the bigger one, because the smaller one just wasn't working. Now, when I went to put the splatters on here, this is neon paint, and I was going to put the green and the orange, but you can see how the green faded out so much is unreal. I was thinking while I was splattering, I'd never put it on black paper before. And yeah, it just kind of soaked in. Maybe I should have gessoed it first or something. I don't know. But I figured, well, I might as well not put the orange on there. I'm covering most of it up anyway, so it's probably all right that we cannot see it very good. My photo there is of my daughter and one of her besties. And there's a very, very, very small town. It's probably a close to 2 hours drive from here. And all they do for economy is events, basically. And they have one every year, and it's called Witches Night Out. Only women are allowed to go. They have to be 21 or older. No men allowed, no kids allowed. And like they meet over in this other town that's really close by at the school, and then they bus them over to that town. And they wanted to go, and since it's witches' nights out, everybody dresses as witches. So this is her and Becky in their witch costumes, and yeah, I had to scrap it as soon as she sent it. I mean, as soon as she sent me the picture of them with their costumes. And Becky's hat has some purple on it. So there will be some purple on my layout, although there is no actual, hardly, because um, it's I guess it's a large label that I'm going to be using. Did come in that collection, but it didn't seem to go with anything else. You could buy them individually, and I think they were like around $1 when you could buy them individually, but they were in that collection. And so I've never used it because of the purple. But since I'm using purple on here, I'm going to finally get to use it. I think there's 2 in there that had purple. And I that one piece was going to be, well, I wanted the spider and the spider web to show. And to get it to show that one piece was going to be too long, so I tore part of it off and put it over on the left because I figured I didn't want to lose that shape. I like that shape. So it's over on the left and just tucked in there just like another tab. I pulled out my doily spider webs plus two that was already cut out. Did not cut anything out for this layout. I punched some letters out, which will be after the video's over. And I am gluing down my alphas that are on there because I'm going to end up using Freckle Fawn alphas. And I ended up punching afterwards, not while I was doing the layout. But while I was putting those on there and gluing them all down and putting them back on there, because, certain alphas you have to glue down, I got the idea of going ahead and using the punch that I planned to use to start with, the Martha Stewart punch alphas, and went ahead and used them. I am using Rusty Hinge there, and I put some liquid looking stuff on one of those stamp pieces. There was three of them, and it's Graphic 45, and I cannot tell you the name. I glued the Graphic 45 part on the back of my um, card that they were in there with, but I didn't glue the name of it. I just glued the Graphic 45, so I didn't do a very good job there. But I've had them for a very long time, so I doubt if you could get them any place other than eBay. It comes with quite a few labels, and I usually would pick whichever ones look best on these three bottles, even though there was extra that you could use. And you just stamp them on there. And one of them is like honey almond lotion, which is pretty less spooky and scary for a potion bottle. But a couple of the others was more like a witch would have. Anyway, I'm adding purple to them. The purple that I'm using is Wilted Violet, and it is an oxide one. As long as the ink pad wasn't too inky, it went pretty good with the hat and that label that I'm going to be using. I added a little bit extra ink to those little words. Those were in Happy Mail to me one time, and I got a lot. So I will have them for a while, and I'm really tickled about that because they're great words for Halloween. And I wanted to use those Jolies, but when I got the idea to use the spider web as a pocket, those weren't going to work. They weren't going to slide in there. So I had to use the stamped ones instead. And so I'm digging through here, and there is another baggie of stuff, but I thought, well, I'll see what I can pull out of this one to use, and using odds and ends. And that's, I believe it is Quick Cuts little, um, it's an embossed, well, if you run it through with the little embossing pad, but you can run it through without. It's an embossed skull. Well, you can tell it's a skull. I didn't need to tell you it was a skull. I added some black behind the eyes, and then I put some highlights on the eyes, and thought, might as well put a few more highlights on there. I am putting foam tape so his head will come up, but I will also add some more off camera because this was getting pretty long. But I added some behind the little bones too. And there's my potion. It's Life Renewal Potion, which made me think of Hocus Pocus. So that's one of the little, they're dictionary descriptions is what they are for different words. And there's broomstick, witch, creepy, blood curdling, and Hocus Pocus. And so, that movie Hocus Pocus, yeah, it that life potion reminded me of that. And I thought, well, I can use that. And then I remembered in that bunch of dictionary words that there was also hocus pocus in there. And I would have put this up higher, but I was thinking I put my title right there because of the title on the sketch. However, when I decided to use the freckle fawn letters, I was afraid they wouldn't show up very well, and so I moved them up there with the spider. I kept looking at those cute little bottles. One of them reminds me of a bottle of perfume my mom had when I was a kid. That one that I'm sticking in right now. Anyway, I thought they looked just a little too flat, so I added some foam tape to the back of them, and that still makes them flatter than those Jolie ones. Those are pretty deep. I mean, I was afraid they would not fit. So I made them, well, stand up a little. I'm not going to say they're rounder, but stand up a little. I should have probably tried to make them rounder. I might have been able to do it if I used foam tape properly. I don't know. Uh, I might have to try that sometime, see if I could. Because, if I added a couple of different thickness ones, I might have. I might have. Here, my camera went off for a minute and I didn't notice it, but you didn't miss much. I think I just put a couple of those tabs in as all. Um, well, the dictionary quote things. Anyway, I put the title on, and like I said, it's Freckled Fawn, and it's one I've had for several years. And it just says Witch's Night Out because it's called Kimswick's Witch's Night Out. I think that's what it's called. And then I'm going to put Kimswick with the punch letters, and you'll see that in the pictures at the end. I'm adding uh, eyelash trim. I love this stuff on Halloween ones. I use it every now and then on something else. I think Western layouts or a couple of them I've used it on, but I really like it on Halloween ones. And I'm just cutting off pieces and wadding up the bottom and then tucking the bottom into the glue. And it stays really good when I do that. So it just has some sticking out. And I'm adding brads where a few of the little bundles of the eyelash trim are. And one, since, that was a spider web down there, I used the spider. And then I put the eyeballs up there with the other spider web. But I was wishing I'd waited and put it on the side. But then I thought, well, that newsprint looking one would look okay there too. But I was thinking when I put it up there with the spider, how they show some spiders with great big eyes? Well, that's what I was thinking. That's why it went there. If I'd had two, I would have put another one over to the left. I was looking at the layout and thinking, I really need a few more tabs, like I don't have enough. So, of course, I'm going to make a few more and tuck them in just to add a little more. Like, I was thinking, like, if you open the file cabinet, there's a whole bunch of tabs. That's what I was thinking. So I thought I'd go ahead and add them because y'all know I like more. And there was a scrap of this black paper. It's got orange, well, looks like orange paint splatters on it. The other side's gray, and I do not think I've ever used the other side. I've always used this side. And if possible, I try to let the orange show up, when I'm using it. But there's plenty of places on there that don't have any orange. So if it's beyond my control, it's beyond my control because I am not going to throw any of it away. So it is all going to get used somewhere eventually. Because you all seen my luck at splattering paint on black. It wasn't working too good. I using Gina Marie enamel dots, and these are matte ones. And of course, that was another thing I was going to have to glue after the video was over. So since I had a while of gluing, because those letters took a while, the enamel dot's not quite as long. But yeah, as you will see in the photos, I did add a couple of more things to it. Like I said, it was just Kimswick and 2022. And the 2022 It's down there on the bottom where the green's at, the green stripe. And Kimswick would have been there too, but I already made my banner. Everything was glued together. And guess what? It didn't fit with the 2022. And I had no, um, the punch did not have numbers. And so I pulled out those dies and made them. And I thought they'd fit. Well, they didn't. I should have tried them out before I went ahead and cut them out. So they got separated. But yeah, that's it. That's my layout. Be sure to check out the master link down there below, the Facebook group and Instagram, and try some of these sketches and see what you can do with them. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching today. I appreciate that too. But have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.